Hi, I'm Dr. Christina O'Flaherty. I'm a clinical psychologist in private practice. And I haven't made one of these videos in quite some time as I've been in transition from practicing in Washington, D.C. to practicing in Newton, Massachusetts, which is right outside of Boston. But I'm back, and today I wanted to talk about something that is an area that I specialize in, and also an area that I feel really passionately and strongly about, which is working with pregnant women when it's such an amazing time of transformation, both physically and emotionally, and it is a really exciting time for most women. And I guess what strikes me is that we do all this stuff to prepare for motherhood. We prepare the baby's room, we buy all kinds of gadgets and strollers and cribs and cradles and blankets and baby clothes. But an area that is so completely overlooked is teaching new moms or expecting moms how to prepare emotionally for motherhood. And to me, that just seems like a huge slice of motherhood that is just missing. So I am on a personal mission to change that. The way that I think pregnant women can prepare for motherhood emotionally, well, there are a few ways, and so that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I also wanted to mention that, there are a huge number of women who suffer emotionally after their baby comes. It's staggering how high rates of anxiety and depression are for new moms, and that is a piece that is often not talked about, and that no one expects until wham, it happens to them. And so I think we really need to take a proactive approach, and pregnancy, as long as there's no perinatal disorder, there's no emotional disorder, during pregnancy, it's a great time to shore yourself up, to learn new coping skills, to learn how to treat yourself kindly and with compassion and non-judgment, and to really look at how you want to parent and how you want to begin this new phase of your life. And so those are sort of the main areas that can be useful for pregnant women to work on during pregnancy. And one of the most important ways is really support. Moms need other moms. We need each other. We need lots and lots of support during this wonderful yet very challenging time. And there are ways to do this. There are a lot of prenatal yoga classes that put moms together, and some of them even continue on once your baby comes. You can bring your baby to postnatal yoga, or there are moms groups. There are classes where you can go and connect with other expecting moms or new moms, and these can all be such a great source of support once your baby comes. But you need to start early. You need to shore yourself up, and you also want to be careful about who you let in. This is not the time to be spending a lot of time with people who make you feel judged or small. This is the time for really strong, supportive relationships to take the forefront. And if you find yourself in a difficult position where you don't have a lot of support, it's important to seek that support out actively, maybe hiring a postpartum doula, You can find a lot that have sliding scales, so it's not super expensive. But postpartum doulas are there for you, both physically to help out around the house, but also emotionally, which is kind of amazing and wonderful. And that's what they do. They work with new moms and they work with new babies. You can seek out a therapist or a group therapy setting where you can be with and connect to other women who are doing the same thing that you are. And another way that I've sort of mentioned is developing self-compassion, which might sound a little woo-woo if you don't know what I'm talking about. I will explain. Self-compassion is a skill that can be learned, that can be cultivated, and it is linked with well-being. And it is about recognizing that what you are going through is difficult, recognizing that it is a valid way of feeling, and not judging yourself for feeling a certain way or being a certain way, and treating yourself the way that you might treat a friend who's going through something amazingly transformative and challenging. Most of us offer our friends compassion and non-judgment, and that is the kind of treatment you deserve to give yourself when you're going through such an amazing but difficult time. And there is a difference between self-compassion and pity. Pity is feeling very much alone in what's happening to you and feeling sort of victimized in a way that suggests that you are the only one who has ever experienced what you're experiencing, versus recognizing that in self-compassion we recognize that we all suffer in very similar ways when we boil it all down. We all have the same needs, and sort of holding difficult feelings in a larger container, whereas in pity we're really narrowing our experience and really focusing on how we alone are suffering. Another thing I've found clients come to me for and can be very useful is looking at family of origin dynamics. So looking at your own family that you grew up in, recognizing what worked, what didn't work, what was difficult for you, and what you'd like to pass on to your children, or maybe what you don't want to pass on at all. This is a really good time to examine that, to set good family boundaries if that's needed, and to look at what your legacy is going to be emotionally to your child. Very, very important stuff. And part of that is noticing your internal voice and how you talk to yourself, because often that's the way our parents talk to us. And so it's a really important time before you have your baby to begin to look at how you talk to and treat yourself, because when push comes to shove, when your child's older, that is how the way that you talk to yourself is the way that you will talk to your child. So let's hope that it's with kindness, and that you're nurturing to yourself so that you can pass that on to your child. And therapy will really help focus on how you speak to yourself and how you can change that. So those are some main ways that pregnant women can begin to shore themselves up and work on some things that will be useful to them when their baby comes. If you have any questions, please post them, and I hope this was useful.